IP address, structure, classes, and private versus public IP. So in last chapter we understood how we human need two addresses to communicate. One is physical address and another is the logical address. In the same way, the computers also need a logical as well as physical address. Physical address is the MAC address, and we have talked about this in the previous chapter. You can check the MAC address chapter here if you want. But yeah, another address is the logical address, which is the IP address, and we will talk about the IP address structure, how it is used, how it is divided by the classes in this chapter now. So if you will see the definition, the IP address is called Internet Protocol address. It is just a unique string of the numbers which are assigned to a computer network, computers, and it serves the purpose of delivering the data on the to the correct destination. And how it looks something like this: 192.168.111.200. So it is divided into four parts, four equal parts. Each part is having a length of 8 bit. Thus the complete address is 32 bit altogether. Each part is called one oct or one byte, because one byte is equal to 8 bits. We have also talked about bit and bytes in our one of the chapter. If you want, you can check it out here. So each and every oct can have a value from 0 to 255. So if the value is 0 for each and every oct, the IP address will be 0.0.0.0. And if the value is all the way to 255 for each and every oct, the IP address will be 255.255.255.255. So if each and every oct is having a value of 0, the first IP address will be 0.0.0.0. The second IP address will be 0.0.0.1, because the value here is 1 and that is the second number. First number was 0.0.0.0, and if the value is 1, the IP address will be 1. If the value is 2 for the last oct, the IP address will be 0.0.0.2, all the way till 255, because it will keep on increasing: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that, and then 255. Then the IP address will be 0.0.0.255. So from 0.0.0.0 to 0.0.0.255, total 256 unique IP address. Why 256? Because from 1 to 255, total 255 plus this one address, which is 0.0.0. That's why it is 256 unique IP address. When we are using the last oct, if we are using one oct, we will get 256 unique IP address. If we are using two octs, then we will get 256 into 256 unique IP address. Third oct, 256 into 256 into 256 unique IP address. And if we are using all four octs, the unique IP address will be 256 into 256 into 256 into 256. It's a really a large number. So we can understand like this a stop clock, like when this portion become 9, it reset to 0 and become 1, and then again it will become 9 and then it will become 2. So like that, this will start from 0, it will go all the way till 255. Once it will reach 255, this portion will reset to 0 and this portion will become 1. So till 255, then it will become 0 and this portion will become 1, and then again it will reach 255 to, then it will become 2, till here it will reach 255, then it will reset and then it will keep on like a speedometer or a stopwatch. It will start from the 0 and reach till 255 to 555. So now the question is why the value is only from 0 to 255. Because we know it is an 8-bit address, to understand this, we have to understand the value of each and every bit now. So there is a predefined value for each and every bit inside a single oct. And the value is 1 for the first bit, 2 for the second bit, 4 for the third bit, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128. Why this value? Because if the bits are off, each and every bits are off, then its value will be 00000. Inside one oct, if all the 8 bits are off, then the value will be 0.0.0.0. And if the bits are on or in use, the value will be predefined value. We'll understand why it is predefined. So we can understand this each and every bit like a switch. Either it can be off or it can be on. If it is off, the value will be 0. If it is on, the value will be predefined. So what is the predefined value? Predefined value is like this. From first bit till 8th bit, 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That is the predefined value of each and every bit, starting from the first bit, from the right to the left, from first to 8th. So if this bit is utilized, the value will be 2 to the power 1. And that's why it was 2, because 2 to the power 1 is equal to 2. Here is the calculation. 2 to the power 0 is 1, 2 to the power 1 is 2, 2 is 4, 3 is 8, 4 is 16, 5 is 32, 6 is 64, and 7 is 128. So the maximum it can go, the if all the bits are off, then the value will be of course 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 for all 8 bit, and thus the oct value will be 0, because we will add up all the zeros. And if the bit is on, each and every bit is on, the value will be 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And based on this chart or the calculation, the value is coming till 128. So the value will be 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, which will be 255. And that is the reason the maximum value can go till 255 for one octet, because we are adding up all the bits when it is utilized on. Now we'll understand the classes of IP address. So the IP address is divided into five categories. So we'll understand about three categories now. So the class A ranges from 0.0.0.0 till 127. Network size, large network, because it is having so many unique IP address inside. So why from 0.0.0.0 till 127.255.255.255? Because what the creators or the designer of the IP address did, they have reserved the last bit by putting it off. So they basically turn off that bit. For that, the value of that particular bit becomes 0 and reserved it. So you cannot change it, or no one can change it. So if the remaining bits will be off, the value will be 0, because this bit is anyway 0, right? So if the remaining bits which are free for change are on, the value will be predefined, which is 1.2, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64. Thus, the calculation will be 0 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 2 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, and the total will be 127. So maximum it can go till 127, because the last bit is reserved by turning it off. So this value becomes 0, and remaining you will add up, which will come 127. So when every bit was off, the value is 0, starting from 0, and maximum it is going till 127. And that's why the class A range is from 0 to 127. For class B, what they did, they reserved 2 bits, but the 8th bit they turn it on, and the 7th bit they turn it off, and both they reserve it. So if the remaining bits are off, the value will be 128. Minimum value will be 128, because 128 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, right? So the minimum value will be 128. That's why it is starting from 128. And the maximum value will be 128 plus 0 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, 191. So that's why the range is 128 to 191. For class C, they reserved the 3 bits by turning on 8th and 7th bit, and by turning off 6th bit, they reserved all the 3 bits. And that's why if remaining bits are off, the value will be 192 minimum, and the maximum will be 223. Now we'll understand the private and the public IP addresses. For this, we will take an example. Let's say you know the 4 kids who studies in the same school. So all 4 kids are in the same school, and it is possible that all these 4 kids are having the same name in a house name, right? Like uh, Chintu. So they all 4 can have the same name, right? Chintu inside the homes. But once they reaches the school, they use their original name, like John Matthew, Ram Sharma, Parvez Alam or Rohit Verma, something like that. Because that is the public name they are given to. Like that, the computer can also use the same IP address inside the network. They can use the same IP address inside the network, which is the private IP. But when they need to communicate to the internet, they have to use their public IPs. And that is the reason between the private and the public IP address. So the range is reserved. Uh, it is 10.0.0.0 till 10.255.255.255, another block of 172, another block of 192. So these are the ranges which we can use inside our home, means each and every. So for example, if I'm on my Wi-Fi and my friend is having a Wi-Fi in his home, he will he can also have the same IP like 192.168.1.1 or 1.10, and I can also have the same IP. But when we are communicating to each other, then it will only see our public IPs. So for internet communication, you have to have a public IP, but inside you can still have a private IP. So how to check the IP address, private IP address? Simply you can on Windows PC, you can use the command prompt ipconfig, and that will show you your private IP. If you want to use the GUI, then you can check in the network and internet setting. That will tell you your private IP address. Now let's see the public IP address. So it starts from 1. So now have you noticed one thing, that the 0.0.0.0 is entirely ignored because it's not usable. So that's why the usable IP is starting from 1. So from 1 till 9, because after this the 10 block is the private IP, which is excluded. It is reserved for private use. So that's why till 9, then from 11 to 126, again 127 is reserved for private, and then 129 to 169, and all these other categories. So these are the ranges of the public IP address. How you check your public IP address? You can simply go to your browser, and there you can type whatismyipaddress.com, which will give you your IP address, public IP address. So you'll come to know you are having two IP address. One is public, one is a private. So that's all for this chapter. Next chapter we'll talk about the subnetting, and thanks for watching.